Abigail here, and if you do not know me, I have helped multiple fashion and lifestyle e-commerce brands scale to 7 and 8 figures with my flow state advertising system. My team and I at Social Ninja are helping multiple brands scale with the predictable revenue systems. So in this video, we are talking about the 5 steps that will make your brand unstoppable in 2025 and how you can scale. So what I've seen is most of the brands actually die in first 18 months. And the reason they die is not because they do not lack designs or lack various content or something. It's not because their product isn't good. It's just because they are relying on different tactics to grow their brand. They are relying on putting out new ads every day. They are relying on making content without even thinking what is working and what's not. And they are always talking about their competitors and just defeat their competitors. That's it. So for the first thing is engineer your core powerful offer. So by the powerful offer, I mean you shouldn't be competing with your competitors. You should be having your own perfect offer. The second thing is build your own audience. You shouldn't be relying on taking your competition's audience. You have to build your own audience and you should be nurturing it. And you need to install a flow state acquisition system and not just putting out new ads every day and just trying and testing new things. And then you need to have a creative systemization because if we talk about creatives, people are just doing photo shoots every other day and they do not have any data if their past creatives worked or not. And they should be having a good pipeline and retargeting engine. So basically what I've seen is they do not take care about the leaking systems. They keep on putting out a lot of money in the ads, and of course someday these money resources would exhaust, right? So you need to have a proper pipeline and there shouldn't be any leakages. So we'll talk about all these points one by one. So by engineering the core powerful offer, I mean is you shouldn't be competing. You should be having your own positioning in the market. And by positioning, I mean you need to build your ideal customer avatar. You should be knowing, you should be creating your market research. You should be having that good market clarity. And basically, if a person is thinking to buy a product, he shouldn't be thinking that if he should buy from your brand or any other brand. He should be thinking if it's buying from your brand, there's no one in competition. I would say just take an example of Air Jordans, right? Or Jordans. If someone wants to buy Jordans, people are not thinking that they want to buy shoes. They just think they want to buy Jordans, right? So you should be having that market positioning in the market. So second thing is build your own audience. So basically by building your own audience, I mean is you should be having their emails, you should be having their WhatsApp numbers so that you can just keep on nurturing them. You should be having different offers for your ideal audience. Build a community. So that would be a perfect system if you want to just nurture your audience and you can get a lot of profitability from that. And those are the people actually that won't let you go hungry ever, that won't let your brand die. So I've seen with lots of brands that they have their basic audience. Just take an example of Blue Orange, right? So people keep on buying from them again and again. The third thing is you need to install a proper flow state system and not just the random ads. So what I've seen is when I'm reviewing people's ad account is they start one ad, and when that ad do not work, they start another ad. So, and of course what happens is one day that ad stops working and they try to start new ads, and then there is big fluctuations in the graphs, in the revenues. So you need to have a proper flow state system installed. You should be knowing that if you are starting one thing, what would be the next step? Or if one creative goes, and if one creative doesn't perform, what's the next step? How you will make the creative perform again and again? and what audiences are you choosing, how you should be scaling your brand. So you should be having a proper strategy in place to reach at least a revenue of 10 lakhs per month, at least. The fourth thing is creative systemization. So what happens is a brand produces a creative content and then they do not do anything for the whole month, and then they produce like 10 or 15 creative contents again. So what happens is you do not know what worked, and then you produced another content, and then of course, like, you leave it to God's hand that if it performs or not. So what I would suggest is to have a proper content sheets in place to see what worked in the first content you produced, what hook lines worked, where did the people stop watching that content, and the second content would be on the basis of the data of the first content. So what we generally do is we see like 3-second views, the hold rate, the hook rate, the 25-second views, 50% views, and then we write down the script in a sheet, and then we see that where did actually people stop watching that content, and then we change that particular part of the content, and then the watching time increases. And then the fifth thing is the pipeline and the retargeting engine. So I have seen that a lot of people, a lot of brands, they get a lot of landing page views, but the add to carts are not that good, or then add to carts are good and the checkouts are not good. So you need to see from the pipeline where did people actually dropped out, and that can be done for sure by analyzing the proper ratios. So you should be having at least 2%, like whatever the number of people that are landing onto the page, at least 2% people should be purchasing your product. And for that, out of 2 checkouts, 1 person would purchase a product, and 1 person would purchase a product out of 3 or 4 add to carts. And you can analyze from that how many add to carts you should be getting. So just see at various points of the pipeline that where are people actually dropping out. So here are like 5 things that you should be focusing on. Guys, listen, the reason brands fail is they chase virality and they do not focus on building the systems. They just random ads, and they do not focus upon installing a proper pipeline, proper flow state of customers, and they never turn their buyers into loyalists. Now, if you are serious upon building your brand and scaling it profitably, I would highly suggest you to book a call with us or send us hi on LinkedIn. I would be putting my LinkedIn profile link in the description of this YouTube video, and let's just have a call and I'll review your proper systems, like your brand as a whole. And this call would be fruitful. There would be no selling and all. We just have these calls to just help our ideal niche. And if a person want to become a client and do this whole steps by us, so they just get onboarded with us. So guys, that's all. If you want to watch more content regarding fashion and apparel e-commerce businesses, just subscribe to our channel and just share if you have any friend who is having a fashion brand.